and blessings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Politically Street. I'm your community ambassador, Mr. Robin J. Anderson. We're here to spotlight people doing astounding things in our community, business leaders, elected officials, along with our community leaders and whatnot. So, first of all, I'm going to give my disclaimer. Politically Street is not a politically endorsing podcast. We're here for information purposes only. So with that being said, I have a good friend of mine, I can say, Ms. Judge Lori Chambers Gray from the Judge Lori Chambers Gray. I'm sorry, y'all, for the 262nd Criminal District Court. Tell me, first off, you got in office in a phenomenal year, and it was like 2018, I want to say it was.
It was, and thank you for having me here today.
Okay, all right.
I'm excited to be here.
Right.
2018 was a phenomenal year. In this election, there for the first time in Harris County were 19 African American women on the ballot running for judge in this county.
Wow, never been done before.
It had never been done before. And on November the 6th of 2018, all 17 were elected, and the 2 were already judges.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
that brought the total
so
to
that,
19.
If you don't mind, can we go back to like where you're from and where you grew up, so people can kind of get a background of who you are, and then we can jump into everything else, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. I'm a native Houstonian.
Okay.
Grew up in Acres Home.
Shout out to the Popo.
There you go. There you go. Went to HISD schools, and just love my community. Starting from a very early age, my mom was very active in the community. Big family, mom, dad, there were 6 children. And Mom was always on some type of a campaign, volunteering for us to stop signs, volunteering to get a clinic, which now exists in Acres Home. It's the clinic right across from Osborne Elementary School.
Okay, yeah,
so
familiar with
she was part of the members of the community that advocated to have a health center.
Wow, yes. Wow. So that's over there on Ringgold and Lawn Street.
You know exactly.
I know exactly where it is.
Wow,
wow, okay.
That's right.
That's amazing.
And for me, home and school was just a part of our community. Was a part of our daily life. And I think it was really a blessing because part of the schooling that I did go to, I went to private school for a while, but then I was able to go to MC Williams, which was a high school back then.
Time, right.
And I ran into a teacher that actually changed my whole life, and that was C. Lee Turner.
Oh, wow.
And he introduced me to the art of debate, speech and drama, and he literally took us around the globe. Wow. Yeah.
I think I remember hearing stories about that. Then I think about it because I volunteered a few times at MC Williams, and that sounds familiar. Wow, okay, absolutely. Interesting. Gotcha. So after high school, where was Miss Chambers?
So after high school, that was one of the goals, because being introduced to competitions that were fierce, competitions that we largely won. It was pretty much embedded in us that we would go to college, that we would be a part of our community, that we would communicate and also contribute to our community.
Gotcha.
And so I went to Lon Morris College. Then I went on to the University of North Texas.
Okay.
Studied communication and journalism. Did my master's at Texas Southern University.
Okay, we're not going to hold that against you.
Okay.
I was a Prairie View. So,
okay.
You know.
I love Prairie View too.
Yes, Prairie View's a good school.
And went to law school
Mhm.
at South Texas College of Law.
Gotcha, gotcha, okay. So I'm assuming that you got into law and you're in a practice, of course, right?
So initially, it was interesting because I started out really in communications,
Mhm.
working I worked for KUHT, Channel 8 here in Houston.
Oh, okay.
I was an intern at Channel 13.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always interested in law.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I mean, and we're talking about the 80s, okay, so we're going to go back some.
Just a little bit.
Women really weren't going to law school.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because we couldn't go to law school,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just not the thing that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew that I was always interested in the law and would write about different crimes and things that were happening as a news reporter.
Mm-hmm.
But the opportunity really just came about that I was able to take the LSAT exam
Mm-hmm.
and get in and accepted
Mhm.
to law school.
Wow, that's amazing. So, what interested you in getting into law? Was it just how they're written, how they're enforced, or what exactly?
It goes back to Celie Turner, really it does, because what I learned through debate was the ability to actually analyze and to argue
Mm.
could actually change people's positions,
Mm-hmm.
could actually be freedom,
Mm-hmm.
could actually aid in communicating between different cultures.
Mm.
And what we had to do as debaters was to take a topic
Mm-hmm.
and to take a side and to learn how to become an advocate. And so that really instilled in me this idea that law was a way to really be a part of communicating and contributing to your community.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's bringing a person who has no voice to the courtroom, bring
Mhm.
their side, that really is what sparked it. But again, there were very few role models. And we say things like 2018 was a historic year. I mean, it's true,
Mhm.
because I really didn't have African American judges in courts to actually, the numbers that are there now,
Right.
to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really important to just think about how, and that was really instilled in me, how can we communicate?
Mm-hmm.
How can we contribute in our community?
Mhm.
What's the best way that I can do it?
Mhm.
I knew that there were things that I could do, and I knew that there were things that I couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really believed that if I got the legal education, I thought that would be a way that I could contribute.
Wow, wow, you're contributing, but we'll talk about you contributing
Okay.
later down the line.
Okay.
But so tell me, what made you want to get into running for a judge? What prompted you to say, you know what, I think I can do this? Because I don't know if you guys in a backroom deal, all y'all decided to run together or what, but it was just watching you guys do that was so inspiring that I was like, you know what, hey.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
There was no backroom deal. There was nothing. Many of us did not know each other.
Mhm.
We met on the campaign
Wow.
trail. I think I may have known two of the judges,
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 sitting judges, I had known of the 2 sitting judges,
Mhm.
but the candidates, we really didn't know each other. We really just came together after the primaries.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha. I met, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I met Shannon Baldwin
Yes.
when she was running. We actually started our campaign together
Okay.
when I was running for city council
Okay.
on Amanda Sapp. Was that KPF? No, was it KPFT? Yeah, KPFT. Anyway, I guess a plug. But anyway,
Okay.
I met her, and so she started early. She started real early,
Yes,
and
yes.
so, but Yeah, I like
Very,
Shannon.
very dedicated,
Mhm.
good judge. Yeah.
So take me on the campaign road, because like I said, I know it's very demanding, time consuming, and so like, because I saw it built steam, and I knew it was building steam because I was at work one day and I was listening to 102, and Tom Joyner had pretty much, stamped you guys, and then I think after that it blew up. So how did it make you feel just to even get out there and see how the notoriety was getting?
Well, it was humbling, really. It was because I know I didn't have any idea that anybody in other parts of the country would really be interested in our race. It's a judicial race. And so it wasn't like, a governor's race or a presidential race. And so it was really humbling to learn about and get that support from people around the country.
Wow.
In support of it.
Wow, wow. And you talk about support, and I forget how we met. I've been trying to figure it out, but I know we sat down at your law office, and I was, telling you about some things I was doing in the community, and you jumped right in. And so first of all, I want to appreciate you. I want to say it on air in front of you because it was definitely needed. I was at a position where I was actually getting discouraged, because a lot of people were, well, I don't want to focus on that. But anyway, but you came in and you came right on time, and I appreciate that.
Well, I think that I wanted to see lights in Acres Home, Christmas lights, and really be a part of making it evident in the community. And then I learned about what you were doing, and so that was just really exciting. And that first tree lighting ceremony that I was able to participate in, it was really, really awesome. You had the little kids there.
Yes, and the violins. I don't care how many times
that.
I see it, it tugs at your heart. You know what I mean? To see the kids 4 and 5 years old playing the violin.
Playing the violin.
But I want to ask you. I want to transition into what it actually is that your court does. I see here it says criminal district. Okay. So what is the 262nd district, criminal district? What is that encompass?
So this court hears criminal cases from state jail felonies, which could be something such as a burglary of a building, all the way to capital murder.
Wow. So
this court would hear cases with a punishment range of not less than 6 months, all the way to 99 years on the first degree, up to capital murder, which would include the death penalty.
Wow, wow.
So the court is one of 22 criminal district courts in Harris County. And Harris County is really a large county.
It's very large. Yeah.
As large as many states. So
wow.
We always reference the number of 4.5 or 4.7 million people in this county. So that is a huge number of people. And so if you think about courts and that there are 22 courts, that's definitely warranted and probably could warrant for even more. But so the court is a court that when I was in the practice of law, it's a court that I spent the bulk of my practice in. Before becoming a judge. The cases that I took primarily were felony cases, both state cases and federal cases. And so I defended people accused of crimes. And so you had asked the question, though, what really made me want to run? I think it was the 20 years in the practice of law from where I was sitting. I had a practice that I built from the ground up, a successful practice.
Wow.
I was working in at least 21 counties.
Wow.
On a given month.
Wow.
But I just had this gnawing feeling, that you get inside that I could do and share what I have learned on both sides of it. I mean, I have seen the tragedy from the victims. I have seen the tragedy from those who have been wrongfully accused. And I really just wanted to be of service to the community, because that's really what it is. When you shut down a law practice that you built, which I did from scratch. I had no, there was no law firm that was given to me. So when you do this, you have to be committed. But I just believe in justice. I believe that our law, we live in an amazing country. That our laws contemplate everything. If you just think about it. Freedoms of speech, the rights, the things that we all hear about in school. And I just felt that I had something that I could share with the community.
Gotcha.
And it was not from something that was given to me. It was from something that I learned, that I worked my way through.
Okay, all right, gotcha. So, your tenure, you run up for re-election.
Yes.
So, have you seen any, like, I guess, a downside? I mean, where I guess the numbers that they declined as far as like convictions are going, or I hear that the murder rate is up and things like that. So I can imagine what you guys are going through. But
so you know, I think the pandemic really changed the way everybody thinks and does almost everything, especially in the courts. I mean, we came into a situation post-Harvey, courthouse that was not ready. We were doubling in other judges' chambers.
Wow.
And then when we got to our own chambers, the criminal courthouse is still not finished. Then we were hit with a 100-year pandemic.
Right.
And life as we knew it changed completely.
Yes.
So not only were people not coming into court, they were actually coming in by Zoom. I didn't know anything about Zoom before that.
I think I did.
I knew FaceTime and so forth.
Right.
But so now we were tasked with holding court on video. And then the inability to have jury trials, because
I was going to ask you that.
Think about that.
Wow.
For the safety of the citizens. But then you have the rights of the accused to have a speedy trial, but how can you have a speedy trial with a jury that cannot convene because there's a pandemic that the prospect of being in the room with someone who may have been infected with COVID could spread to the whole panel.
Right,
so
that's true. I didn't think about that.
Jury panels were suspended. And so everything really, while it didn't come to a grinding halt, it slowed down substantially. And that's for the safety of everyone involved.
I was just explaining to, I think it was my daughter, about how the courts is. I said, if you get convicted of something, you have to go before a judge, and they say you have to be tried by your jury, I mean your peers or whatnot. And I've only been selected to, as far as jury duty, like once. I've gone, you know, because so.
That's good.
But what can a person? I mean, a person that's young, that's in this Generation Z, what would you, I guess, advise to them on? First of all, not seeing you, but,
but come
what
by
can they
and
do?
visit.
Right, come by and visit, but not only
to have the
right.
students come by and visit. No, and the citizens. The courts, first of all, are open access, and we're there every day. But it's so important because to have just the right to sit on a jury to judge a case is unique almost to this country. I mean, there may be other countries that do something similar, but what we have is really outstanding.
It is, I agree.
And a lot of times people look at jury service as something that, oh, I don't know, I don't want to get involved, I don't want to judge. But that is what the foundations of our country is built upon. Everyone has a right to have a fair trial before a jury, what? As you said, of your peers. So what if my peers never show up?
Wow.
And I'm charged with a crime. How does my case actually get heard by someone of my peers?
Right.
If I won't go in and serve on the jury.
Right.
And so I would encourage Generation X, Z, A, B, C, whoever, to just answer the call, because your presence is so needed and so respected. The people who work in the jury assembly areas are so professional. They will call you, you'll get assigned a jury number. They try to make it as painless as possible.
Yes, that's true.
Catering to whatever it is that may be going on in your life as best as we can. Providing lunches, just providing a safe place for the juries to deliberate, just being respectful of the process.
Gotcha.
That requires both those who are accused, the lawyers, the judges, but also the citizens to be a part of it.
I agree 100%, you know, so that's, at first I was a little, you know, I was kind of like that number that you talked about, people who don't want to get involved, like, no, I don't trust the system and this and that, but how can you not trust it if you're not part of it? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly, and the system is you. So I say, go look in the mirror, because I had to really say that to myself. If I was seeing what I would describe as injustices in courts, and if I only want to sit back and say, that's an injustice, but then I don't want to do anything about it, then I should be quiet. Because in our society, in our government, of the people, by the people, we're a part of this. And it may not always be comfortable. I mean, it may not be ideal. You may have to take off from work in order to sit on these juries, and the pay that the juries are receiving may not be your daily pay, but it is a part of what it means when you say, I'm an American. I'm willing to give what I'm wanting to receive. And everybody wants to receive fairness and justice, and they have that right to do so.
Wow.
But then also they have that responsibility as well.
Wow, we can talk for pretty much 2 or 3 hours about the law and things like that, but I know you have things you have to do. So where can people find you on your social media and media platforms?
So on my social media, you can find me at judgelorichambersgray.com, and information about my court, information about my background is there. Also on the Harris County District Clerk's website, you can find the 262nd Criminal District Court, and it has all the information there as well. We love to have students come in once school gets back underway. I know a lot of the schools were virtual as well, but pre-pandemic, we had students that would come in, get a chance to talk to the lawyers, get a chance to sit in the judge's chair, which is, these are things that I want the young people to be able to do. I never had that opportunity.
What about Generation X? I wouldn't mind sitting in the chair.
Absolutely. You are welcome. Those courts are your courtrooms, and the lawyers and all the court staff, they're more than willing to talk to you about their jobs, about the work that they do, and how their work fits into the whole system of justice.
Gotcha, perfect. All right, so y'all can say we can talk for a couple hours about the criminal courts and things like that. But so Ms. Chambers, Judge Chambers Gray, has given her platform. Y'all make sure and go follow her, look at the work she's been doing. and support her, you know. So if I'm not mistaken, election is next year.
Next year.
Re-election's next year. Gotcha. Okay, so
2022.
2022. So y'all be on the lookout for us. So make sure you go to YouTube, follow my podcast, The Politically Street. I'm on Instagram as well. And if you want to get one of these nice shirts, if you follow the movement, go on politicalstreet.org. And I would appreciate any kind of donation that you give. This it costs money to run this platform. So either way, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.